That always helps. That definitely always helps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I am Sean Williams, aka Mr. President. This is the safe room where we host a safe space for entrepreneurs, business owners here in Toronto to share their personal and professional stories. And today we have a very special guest. This is someone I actually met at a tech festival a couple weeks back, and I'm really glad we made the connection because there's some interesting things we're going to talk about. We're talking specifically on private security. So for anyone who's out there, entrepreneur business owners, you might want to this one. This is going to be a special one for you. So let me just do my due diligence to give a proper introduction. She is the founder and CEO of Celeste Security, which is a company dedicated to redefining private security and private investigation through innovation and technology. Now, listen, some of the work that she's doing is incredible. I mean, she's originally from Montreal, but listen, we claim her. We claim her in Toronto. So don't worry. There's no beef. There's no like rivalry. Like we're all in the same boat. So it's so excited to have her on. I know she's about to drop gems. So guys, get your pen and notepads out because listen, gems are about to be dropped. And if y'all don't have all the gems, we're not running this episode back. We're not. This is one and done. So get what you need to get without further ado. I want to introduce Miss Cillian. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're happy to be on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I mean, it's been all just getting back together, just a back and forth, setting this all up. So I'm super excited to have you on the show to talk about the work that you're doing with Celeste Security. I know it's incredible things that you're doing, so I'm super excited for people to just get to know you a little bit more, and especially like knowing how we connected at that Elevate Tech Festival. I'm really glad I actually got to meet you because this wouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, yeah, I'm super excited to sit down with you, talk a little bit more about private security. This is something that's out of my repertoire. I'm gonna be completely honest. So, as I'm asking the questions, I'm gonna be writing down my own notes as well. I ain't gonna lie.
Good, good. I hope you do.
100%, 100%. Okay, before we get into all the main questions, I feel like we have to open up with our opening segment, and that's the hot seat. Now, don't worry, like it's not that serious. Like it's the cold seat. Like based on terms of the questions, it's very chill, relax. I'm just gonna ask you four questions, and I want you to answer them to your best abilities. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay, cool, cool. So, first question. So, outside the work that you do, tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
I'm a dog mom.
I love that. I love that. Maybe go. I feel like there's a story behind that. I feel like there's something you have to share. So like, I think the people need to know, like, why a dog mom?
Yes, well, I'm a dog mom of my dog is Celeste, actually, and she's my biggest inspiration behind this company. I think just having my dog, like, I feel safe in public. I feel like I have my own bodyguard just with her, even though she's super friendly with people.
That's great. That's great. There's always like a very touching point for me when I hear that. Oh, I named my business after like my pets or like someone I love. Like that. I feel like those are the businesses like you have to resonate with more because it's like it's personal. Like it has a deeper connection. So I love for you that you started off with that, and again like Celeste is like your best friend in a way. There's the connection, and how you look at a dog as like as a watch guard, like making sure they
Yes.
protect their owner from every single thing. So there is a little bit of that correlation in terms of to the work that you're doing. So I love that. I love that. I love that. I think that's super dope. Okay, so the next question I want to ask is, what is one work habit you enjoy and one work habit you hate? Now I asked this last week, so I felt like what? It's a good question. I want to ask it again. So I want to ask you again, what is one work habit that you enjoy and one work habit that you hate?
So I would say one work habit that I enjoy is the fact that I really do a lot of due diligence. I look to do things in perfection. So I can always count on my past work. Like sometimes I'm like, did I do that? Did I forget about that email and stuff like that? And I always check back my work and I'm like, yes, I did do it. So I'm like, oh, okay, thanks God for my past self.
That's fair. That's fair. Honestly, yeah, like sometimes like that's a trait I kind of lack a little bit on in terms of like trying to do my due diligence and like check. I'm like, wait, did I do this? Did I do that? Sometimes it's like you'll have one thought and then next thing you know, it's just like, wait, what was I thinking about? Like you just blank out. So I definitely know what you mean. So what about a work habit that you're not so fond of?
I think it's my brain never shut off. So like I could be in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, this is something for your business. Write that down. So I'm like, I cannot sleep. I'm like, okay, at any time of the day. I'm like, I'm driving. And I'm like, okay, this is something for your business. Write that down. Write that down. So yeah, the fact that my brain never shut off is something that I get tired of.
To be fair, that is like every business owner. It's just like it's 3 a.m. in the morning. And it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, I just came up with like the greatest idea in the world. And I don't know
Yes,
why.
exactly.
Like, yeah, I don't know why that's become like the stigma. Like it has to be like 3 in the mornings, but it's true. And it's happened to me multiple times. Like I'm literally sleeping and just like, bro, like the greatest idea happened. It's like I can't go back to sleep. I need to like grab my laptop and just start typing. Like that like for me that is like so important, but again, I feel like even having like that ability to not turn your brain off, it could not only just be like a bad thing, it could also be a good thing because you're always in that mindset of thinking, and
Hmm.
you're always looking to just create something different or find something innovative or come up with a solution to a problem. So I do feel like that's not a bad thing to look at.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
100%. So the next question I want to ask is I want you to share an interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself, actually.
Well, it's that I'm from Haiti. I always say I grew up in Quebec, but I was actually born in Haiti. I grew up heavily influenced by the Haitian culture. So yeah,
Interesting. So okay, so I'm not trying to be messy. So you're from Haiti, but you
yes,
tell people you're from Quebec or whatever.
I grew up in
What?
Quebec because, well, I
Okay.
arrived at Quebec. I was 3 years old, so I know both culture. I had the Haitian culture at home, but in school, in work, I had the Quebec culture.
Interesting, interesting. Because I thought there was like some inner beef that I didn't know, or just like, wait, do Quebec and Haiti hate each other? Maybe that's just like, no, I'm not mentioning them. Like who? No, we don't mention this side. Okay, I was just curious. My brain was just kind of getting a little messy, but I'm glad that you clarified on that. Okay, that's good. That's good. Honestly, like I would have never even considered you to like be from Haiti. I would have never thought that. Like we what do you feel in terms of like when you tell people like what is like the initial reaction you see from like different people when you tell them that interesting fact?
I think it's the opposite. When I tell people I'm from Quebec, they're like, "Where are you really from?" Even though like I grew up in Canada, like from 3 years old, like that's the country I know more the best. I think it's people are more surprised when I tell them like that I'm from Quebec than from Haiti.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean like I can only imagine just, just how Haiti is like nowadays in the state that it is. Like obviously when people think about Haiti, they think about, like the earthquakes that happened back in, I believe it
Mm-hmm.
was 2009,
10,
2010.
2010. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it has a perception to it, but obviously, I don't know when was the last time you were back in Haiti,
I
but,
never went back, unfortunately.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to make that. You got to make that happen. I mean, like it's cold here. Like you don't need to be spending Christmas time here. Like maybe you go somewhere else.
Yeah, but right now it's kind of unsafe to go back, especially in the capital. There's a lot of gang violence. So I'm in the right field to kind of solve that, and hopefully in the future. But for right now, it's not possible to go.
Yeah, and I love how you're looking to even address something like that and try to come up with a solution. So I love that. Okay. The final question for this hot seat segment. What is your personal safe room? So what is a safe space? It could be physical, it could be mental that allows you to be your authentic self.
I would say my car. I love being in my car. I feel relaxed when I'm in my car. I feel like um, I love while I'm driving. I feel relaxed. Maybe not while I'm driving Toronto streets, but in general, yes.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I've heard a lot of people like say like in their car, like there's something about it when you're just in your own vehicle, whether it's like going to work or driving to your favorite spot, or even just like sitting there in your vehicle
Yes.
for a certain period of time. It's just very relaxing and very soothing. You just get to block away from the rest of the world. So I hear you on that. Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. I would probably say also as a follow-up question, like when it comes to like being in your vehicle, do you feel like there are times where maybe like while you do feel safe, that there's just times you just need to like let go of certain emotions? Like let's say you're feeling a little like angry that like you have to let it go like in your car or in your vehicle. Like it can't be nowhere else.
Yeah, and I feel like especially when you put music in your car, like the you feel the music differently from like all the it's more intense. So super relaxing for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I honestly like I'm a big music guy. Like I'm not trying to tease anything right now later for the conversation, but we're gonna have an activity that has to do with music. I know everyone in
Okay.
the chat is already gonna get pissed at me, like, oh boy, here we go, Sean. Like, listen, guys, relax. We're gonna get there, but until now, like, I'll reserve it. I will reserve it. So, okay. Okay, yeah, that's basically all I have for the hot seat. So now we can transition into questions. But before we do so, again, if you are listening to Love Bay Radio right now, this is the safe room. This is your boy Sean Williams. I'm here with Cillian. She is the founder and CEO of Celeste Security, and we're gonna have a great conversation when it comes to private security. Talk a little bit more about security management. I know, again, I'm gonna be taking lots of notes. So I hope you guys are taking notes as well. If you're just tuning in, if you're coming in right now, you're not going to miss anything like that. But before we do go on to the next portion of the show, I do want to talk about all the things that's happening right now in Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa. I know it's a very devastating time with everything happening with the hurricane. So I just want to say a prayer to all the families, all the people in Jamaica that were affected, and all the other different places as well, Cuba as well. Definitely take the time to like do your due diligence. If you're watching this, anyone who's listening, to go support, go to any causes or anyone who's looking to donate any like resources, clothing, food. Please do your due diligence. At the end of the day, we never know what could be happening. And one day, everything will be fine in the Caribbean. And then the next day, you'll have a hurricane that's at a category 5. And, there are people still living there. And I think it's important that we look out for people no matter what their ethnical background, their financial status. Like, we should always do our due diligence to support others. So, again, just want to say a prayers to all the families, all the people that were affected from Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. Again, take the time to do your research. If you can give back, support in any way, please do so. And, do your due diligence again to do research and spread the message. Now, I want to go back to the main questions now, Cillian. Now, you did kind of answer one of my questions because I was going to ask you about Celeste Security, like how the name came to be, but you did explain it was from your dog. So I want to go on to the next question about why was starting Celeste Security important to not only addressing, the lack of private security procedures within businesses and corporations, but just really talking about private security in general. Because again, I've had lots of people on the show, but not anyone of what you do, which makes it super special. I think, you're like a very unique guest based on what you bring to the table. So again, talk a bit more about, just the beginnings of Celeste Security, how you got started, and why it was important to talk about things like private security, security management that, most businesses are lacking within their operation system.
Yeah, so I think I've started private security was my first career at 18 years old. I studied in that, and I've so far I've spent like 8 years in that industry. And what I did notice is like there was nothing addressing security from a woman perspective. So that was something that was lacking. And also, I think a lack of technology. So I decided to start my own company to mix a little bit of both. I think with technology, we can go further in making people feel safe, especially us as women. I think a way we feel safe is to have more information. So that's why as well we have our tech platform. One of them is the Celeste app that allows clients to book the security guards, and on that they can see the profile of the security guard. They can see their license, their experience, the name, so they kind of feel safer to know that person is coming to your home or to your business or to your event to secure the place.
Yeah, that's really good. Honestly, like again, those are things that for myself I don't think about, especially if you are like a business and a corporation when you are running like specific events or you're like partnering with certain partners, like depending on like what the risk management could be or what components you have to consider that those certain protocols don't get mentioned at all. So I guess like the
Mhm.
fascination that you got started at such a young age too, 18. Like I don't know what 18-year-olds like, wow, like I wanna learn about private security. They would have been like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get too deep into stuff like that. And it's funny because I think someone would first tell themselves, you know what, I'd rather do something maybe in engineering or maybe in like biomed or even something like that before like doing private security. And I know when we had our conversation, when you talked about doing, private investigation, everything like that, obviously like the weird side of my brain thought like, oh, this is kind of like what you see in like TV shows, like a PI, but it's like a yes and no situation. It's like, yeah, but it's like it's not like crime or anything like that where we're like trying to solve cases, but it's a little bit different. So maybe go into more detail in terms of like what does that actually look like when it comes to you working with the clients or just overall like just what the process actually, you know, really compiles with.
For which part of it, the private security or private investigation?
If you could talk about both, that would be great because I can only imagine that there is a distinction between both concepts.
I would like to say like my first job in the industry was a crossroads between both of them. It was as a loss and prevention officer, like the people in the store that.
Oh no, I think she froze up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, we'll try to get her back very soon. In the meantime, again, if you guys are still listening, again, we're just catching up with Cillian. She is the founder and CEO of Celeste Security. So we were just talking a little bit more about the distinctions between private security and private investigation. So hopefully we can get her on very soon. Until then, again, guys, leave your comments and your questions down in the chat. I'm here to answer them and just go through them as the show continues. Again, as I mentioned before, if you guys have heard about the recent events with Jamaica and Cuba when it comes to Hurricane Melissa, again, do your due diligence to search up, catch up on what's going on. If you can support in any way, definitely do so. Also, as well, I know the city's very hot right now because the Toronto Blue Jays are one game away, one win away from winning and capturing the World Series. It'll be the first one since 1993. So let me know, guys. Are you going to be downtown Toronto tomorrow? Are you going to be down there chilling, just cheering the team? Okay, we got Cillian back. Sorry, I
I'm
was just
so
catching up
sorry.
with everyone on the Blue Jays, so like don't even worry about it. All right.
So when did it cut off?
I believe you were talking about like your time working as a law enforcement officer, I believe, or something along the likes of that. You were kind of going into detail of that.
Yes, it was not law enforcement. It's different. It was loss and prevention officer.
Okay.
So I was working for a private security agency, and then they would send me into stores to catch thieves, basically.
Oh, that's
So that was my
interesting.
first experience when I was 18.
Okay. Honestly, like it's funny you say that because obviously, like you'll still see lots of people when it comes to like robberies or burglaries nowadays. So is that something that I guess your company
Mhm.
still addresses, like based on what you did in your personal experiences? Was that something that you integrated into your own business that you wanted to like provide as a service or at least address something similar to that?
In the future with our technology for sure, not with our human workforce, more with the technology. We have exciting stuff that's gonna address that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, that's perfect because it gets into my next question is how can you recognize when a business has, a challenge with their their security management, and how does some of your service help solve those problems? So it's a little bit of a two-part question. So again, how do you guys recognize the challenge, and like how does your services,
Mhm.
and if you want to talk a little bit more deeper on the service that you guys provide, again, how does those services, resolve those problems?
I think one of the biggest problem in the industry is that most agency they just send out a security guard without giving them the necessary information they need to know like what they're about to do. Like, is it indoor or outdoor event? Is it later or stuff like that? And with our technology, the security guard gets the same information we get from the clients. So that helps a lot. I can see sometimes I go to events and I see the security guard are not prepared, they lack information, and it's not their fault. So just the fact that we have the technology to spread the information correctly really gives us an edge up.
That's great. That's great. And just to ask as well, like, how big is the team at Celeste Security? Like, how large is the team that you have to keep a tabs on everything that's going on when it comes to just the monitoring, or like whatever you are helping with B2B businesses? How big would you say the team is? Is like a very small team, like a medium sized team?
We're a small team. I think it's mostly we hire based on our needs and based on the contract that we have. But in Ontario and Quebec combined, we have 30 security guards.
Okay, that's really good. And now that you mentioned that, I do flash back to the Elevate Tech Festival, and it makes me wonder too about just again what you mentioned, like having like security guards at big events, but they're not properly prepared. And again, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I know when you had like there's like thousands of people there, like just moving
Hmm.
around, functioning, where they're going to like different breakout rooms, master classes. I felt like the level of security wasn't as present. Obviously, like you're not thinking about that in the moment, but I've been there a couple of times at Elevate, and I will say it just kind of feels like a roam around period. It feels like you could probably just walk into any room and no one would even bat an eyelash. So I guess from your own perspective, do you feel like when you are going to big events like Elevate or just any event where you'll kind of pick out the room and like say to yourself, like I feel like the security
There's
could
a
be
need.
better. Like, do you have those feelings?
Yes, for sure. Sometimes I go to events and like my friend tell me, "Oh, I wasn't on the list. I wasn't registered. They just let me walk past." Then I'm like, it's in my head it's like bell or ringing. Like, yes, you're my friend. It's fine, but if a gunman walks in and doesn't have to register, or someone who's with ill intent walks in, I think that's a big security issue that they don't check people that are registered or not. So that's one of the things I see a lot in Toronto's event.
That you know what? I'm so glad you brought that down. And just to provide another example, last September I had my celebration event, and one of my biggest worries was that there were people that already registered, but I was super there were going to be people that just came the day of and just like walked in and like, "Hey, Sean, like I'm here, let's do this," and it's like you're not on the list though. It's like, oh yeah, but like yeah, you know me, bro. It's all good. It's all good. And it's like I feel like a lot of times too when it comes to like having seamless security systems too. I feel like as like the business or the organization or even like the entrepreneur itself, I feel sometimes we let the our moral compass kind of disappears for a bit. It's like, well, I know this person, or like, you know what, like nothing's gonna happen. But like you mentioned, like there could be very serious and dire situations that could occur depending if you're
Hmm.
not taking proper security measure. Again, a gunman could just walk in and be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm a part of this event. Like don't worry, like I know this person." Then next thing you know, like you're putting lives at stake, or maybe you're having a disrupted group of people just walking in, and like I've seen it before, like they will just walk in and just mess up the entire flow of the event. So I think it is important to really think about these things. But I love how you said like there's like a radar it goes in the back of your head that's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. There's just too much leniency.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so I want to go a little bit deeper to your just your knowledge when it comes to private security, security management. So when it came to learning about those things, like what were things that you took away from your past experience and your expertise, and you tried to debunk when people are, asking, or maybe they're giving misconceptions about private security. Maybe for example someone's like, oh, I guess private security is like it's probably super confidential, or maybe it's like restricted to certain people with like a certain amount of knowledge. Maybe it's like to yourself it's like, well, that's not true, or maybe it is true. Like what are some things you learned from your past experience that if someone were to bring up as maybe as a misconception, or maybe they don't know as much, including myself. So again, that's why I'm asking the question. Like, what are some things you try to debunk from just what you've learned in the past?
Yeah, so what I hear often is like, oh, so anyone can just get a job as a security guard. They just have to be strong men and tall and strong and just can get hired on the spot. And or like someone even tell me, are they like ex-criminal or and stuff like that? But actually, in the security industry, you have to get a license. To get the license, you have to get a background check from the province. So not everyone can just become a security guard.
Yeah, that's true. And like just to even ask as a follow-up question, like does when it comes to private security, does it just have to be in the form of like a security guard? I guess like this is my own misconception that I'm asking, like, or like can it be something where you're setting up a private security system where it's like maybe through a software or something like that? Because obviously there's certain businesses where it's like we may not need a security guard, but we need something to like protect us from certain like third party like websites or any like malfunctions with through our software. Maybe we have like a CRM that we need to protect all our client base. Like, is those other things that you also deal with, like with software when it comes to private security?
Well, I would say there's different kind of role in the industry, but I feel like when you speak of software, it goes more into a cybersecurity, which is something completely different. But what we something different is like when you work for government building, which is what I've done. You get to work in a next level where you do like security clearance for people, and that's where you get more on the side of private investigation because you do background check. But just in the building, like they have like gates, they have like detectors and stuff like that. You go deeper than just a normal security guard that watch your door, basically.
Okay, this is good information. Again, I hope you people are listening and taking down notes as you go. I do want to ask a little bit more about private investigation too, in terms of just like again, what are some of the misconceptions behind that? Because again, some people assume private investigation just maybe involves like one person reporting to another person and just like they're kind of on their own having to deal with anything. But like, I don't know if this takes like a whole team effort where there's like multiple like reporting and compliance that gets involved. So maybe you could talk a little bit more again, what are some of the misconceptions when it comes to private investigations and like what it really, occurs into that field.
Yeah, so I feel like when I mention private investigation, a lot of people just go and think about marital problem and like a spouse hire a private investigator for to check on their husband and stuff like that. But there's multiple role, and one of them that I did in the past is undercover agent. So sometimes like company will hire a private investigator to come and work at their stores, at their company, and report on their employees. So there's stuff like that. There's also well, company we have a lot of company come and ask us for background check on like a new investor they're bringing on board, a new business partner. So there's multiple aspects for a private investigation.
That's very interesting because now like I don't want to say my brain's now dipped into that paranoia state because now I'm thinking to myself like, bro, what if like I'm just working and one person, let's say I'm helping like one random day, I could be having a bad day and like I just give them like the worst attitudes possible. I don't know if that person's like a private investigator. It's like, yeah, like there was this one guy, like I don't know, he just had a bad attitude. I don't think you should hire him for like the next season or whatever like that. I feel like that now gets me worried because it's like, oh boy, like I have to like be like on my tip top game. But it's interesting too because I feel like for like what the job market is, like there are people who may be working still. And again, like I feel like for most part, private investigators, they don't make themselves known. I'm assuming like they're not like, oh, I'm a
Exactly.
private investigator. It's like no, like the whole point of it is just like you are observing and you're just kind of like again taking notes. You have to report to someone, then that makes sense. But then also for yourself being the employee, you don't know who that person could be. And obviously it could be very conspicuous where like they're not super tailored or like I'm dressed up in a suit. Like they could just be wearing like regular like street clothes and be taking information.
Exactly.
But it's interesting that you say that because I think this is super important for a lot of us, not just for business owners, but everyone in general. If you are working a job, if you are part of a company, and sometimes if you're just having a bad day, and obviously we all have a bad day at work, but to understand that we always have to be on our top game no matter what, because there could
Hmm.
be someone that's watching who's lurking and could be reporting on you and you may not even know it.
Exactly, and it's big operation. I could say an example of something I did in the past without naming the real company, but let's pretend it was something like Tim Horton. I would like get hired by the head office, the top head office, and no one under would know about it. I would come and like bring a fake resume to make sure I get hired. And then I would work the normal job. I would clean the bathroom. I would do the cash and everything like a normal employee, but while still making report every day on how it went the day and reporting back to the my superior, and then they would ask go see that specific person or something like that.
Wow, that honestly, this is all blowing my mind. Like truly, I know like it sounds like something out of a movie where it's like, okay, we need you to like infiltrate, but like it's a real thing. Like it's crazy
It
that
is.
this is a real thing that people may not know about. And again, I would have never known this if I didn't meet you for the first time, which is insane. Wow, wow, guys, like I'm literally just blown away. I hope you guys are really taking this in. So this is good stuff to know. Another question I want to ask is like a follow-up is how can I guess some of the services that you provide with Celeste Security, how can it be applicable for certain businesses? Like maybe let's say they want to take part of what you guys are doing, like use your services to help strengthen their company. Obviously, it could do with like maybe addressing risk management or even like strategic optionality where it's like other processes being like run smoothly. Like how would you say like the stuff that you guys do is applicable or it connects well to serving other businesses who may be looking for your assistance?
Yes, so for the private security part, I think when businesses have events, personal events, sometimes they have events with shareholder, high value clients, and they need security to make sure the event goes well and uninterrupted. And or sometimes they have high intellectual property that they need to safeguard, make sure only specific people have access to that room where all the information are. That's where they would have a security guard watch over that. For the private investigation part, a lot of our clients is businesses that are hiring new employees or getting into with new business partner, and they've seen the resume of that person, but they're not sure like how do I verify if this person is really who they say they are? They really have the experience that they say they have. That's where we come in and do a background check. We do a research on social media, on the internet about them, and that can all be done confidentially and before they hire or get in business with that person.
Okay, this is good. I want to go a little bit deeper on the latter side of things, the private investigation, because I think it was really important, and I notice a lot from many people I've met in my network, a lot of group chats I'm in WhatsApp, where there are certain people who are looking to like hire other, professionals, whether it's someone who's from a different industry or even I know there's lots of entrepreneurs that are trying to hire students because bringing in students, maybe they don't have to pay as much or like depending they may be able to compensate not your value but in experience. And I can only imagine maybe for someone of like myself as an entrepreneur, maybe I want to bring in someone like you to come in and, kind of scope and see. Because again, I'm not trying to say everyone's a liar, but obviously there could be some people that's like, oh yeah, like I do this and I do that, and then okay, cool, like I need you to do this task, and the next thing you know, it's just like they're asking so many questions, like what do I do? It's like, well,
Hmm.
you should know what to do. Like that's why I brought you in. So I mean, like I think that's super important. So a question I want to ask, and I want to be very careful with how I ask this, is just for the people who do come to you, and let's say using that scenario of like, let's say they're trying to hire someone and basically you're coming in to just keep an eye on that person that they're hiring. Like, what would you say is like, I guess, the results or the outcomes? Like, do you feel like when most of those situations happen that it's like a very successful rate where it's like, okay, we found out that this person, like, they check out, there's nothing sketchy about them, and they would definitely be good in terms of like maybe a potential partner or someone who's working under you, is that something that you see a lot of? I obviously it's a tricky question to give like a yes or no, but maybe you could like break down my question a bit, just like if you understand.
Yes, yes. I feel like it's all about prevention. I feel like if a situation goes bad with an employee and it goes even to court, you have to prove to the court that you made some due diligence and like you didn't just hire someone on the whim. And having like a background check is done before you can go to court and say, here's the report that I had from the private investigator. Here's the research that we did. So me and a private investigator came to the same conclusion that this person at the time of hiring was trustworthy. But turns out, with information we did not get or we could never have guessed, it turns out that person lied, even though on their background check it stated something different. So then after in the court, you do prove that okay, you did the due diligence, it's something you could not have prevented, and you have a better chance of winning your claim.
Okay, this is good information because again, I do believe that there are some people that you don't know what their intentions are, and for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, one of the few issues that they have sometimes it's funding, but also building a team. Like when your business is growing and scaling, when you're able to build a team and certain responsibilities are not latched onto you anymore. You're able to be in a different country and systems are already in place where you can operate. But of course, there could be one or two people that could be very dishonorable with what their qualifications are, and that could cause a ripple effect in terms of how the workflow is, how everything works after that. And I believe for what you guys offer, it's super important, and even just when it comes back to just regular 9 to 5 jobs as well. Like I can't recall how many times like I've seen a job, posting on LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever the case may be, and someone gets hired for it. And then 3 months later, that same position is back on LinkedIn and Indeed. And I'm always wondering, like, why is that the case? And I'm wondering again, I don't want to like, I'm not trying to put on my theorist hat on, but it feels like maybe it's the fact that, it is certain private investigators coming in and saying that, like, yeah, we did a background check. Like this person's clearly lying. Like they don't have like software engineering skills, or like they clearly did something sketchy, and then they have to remove someone. And maybe it's now why certain jobs are just more reluctant to give like full-time work. Again, like this is just me spitballing, guys.
Mhm.
Like, do not take my words for gospel, please. Like, I am not trying to tell you exactly like it is. I'm just being like, this is just what I'm thinking, just from what you're sharing, Celine, and I appreciate that. But I want to go back to what you mentioned in terms about the private security aspect and how you guys help at private events. So making sure like certain information isn't being disclosed or anything like that. So like maybe go a little bit deeper of like what that actually looks like. Because obviously, again, like I've been to so many events, but I don't think I've been to like much events where it has been on that level where you'll have like certain like guards standing by or like clearance into certain spaces. Like maybe you could provide some examples for the audience so people can understand a little bit more.
Yes, so during the Elevate Festival where we met, I went to an event from Google. So at Google, they have sensitive information. You cannot just walk into any room, even though they make event every week. They always have security there. They have very tight security protocol too. Like not everyone can walk in. You need to have your ID with you for to verify you're the same person that registered for the event. They're very strict. So it's one of the company that has the strictest security protocol that I could say.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and I feel like it is something that is common. Maybe you don't see it as much at certain events, but it is common depending on also like the organization who's facilitating the event. Usually, if it's more of a smaller base nonprofit event organization, then they may not have that thought process to do something like that. But of course, for Google being a conglomerate across the world, Silicon Valley, the whole deal, it makes sense that they would put in certain procedures for that, which I think is super important. Again, for people who are just tuning in right now, this is the Safe from here on Love Bay Radio. I'm here with Cillian, the founder and CEO of Celeste Security. This has been a very riveting conversation. I'm learning a lot about private security, and I'm glad so because honestly, she's probably getting my brain twisted in terms of just like all the different things that I may not know. There could be like a private investigator where I work and I don't even know it. It could be like I've never seen you before. It's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just like, and they could be reporting on me. So now I gotta stay on my toes on everything. So we're having a fantastic conversation. I do want to go on to the next question, Cillian, and I mentioned something about private security, and when it came to like a mix of it with cybersecurity, you said that was a completely different thing. Well, I do want to bring up AI. I feel like this is something we cannot avoid. AI is inescapable. It's inevitable. So with the rapid impact and growth of AI, and businesses even now implementing AI agents, they want to have their own AI agents so it helps with their automation, their workflow, making sure everything is more seamless and more efficient. How is Celeste company or Celeste Security not only combating but also embracing a part of like AI within your own business model? It could be something where it's like, what, we kind of stay away from it. Not to say that it's bad, but it's just not exactly to what we're trying to do. Or maybe there's a part of it where, it's even just booking with a client. Are you using little aspects of AI for that, or just hoping to get people or to help some parts of your processes be more smoother with AI?
Yes, I would say we embrace it. Right now, we're using AI. We're looking to work with AI and integrating with hardware. We're building actually our own robot security guards, where there's an AI LLM agent that will be able to answer questions from guests at events. So there's something we're definitely embracing and working to implement in our process.
Okay, that's really good. Honestly, I can only imagine what that actually looks like. So I can only imagine just how much work that's being put in to make that happen, which is really important. And, like I mentioned, there are a lot of businesses who are trying to incorporate some level of AI into their workflow, into their systems. So it's good to know that you guys are embracing some part of it, especially how, again, AI is something that we can't escape. It's everywhere. So it is important to address. I will say, as a follow up question as well, why would you say that with AI, that's something you're trying to embrace, but maybe again, something with cybersecurity, it's a little bit different. It's not really involved into the day to day operations with Celeste.
Well, cybersecurity is a completely different industry. It's more like software based. That's not something I've studied. And physical security is more like everything that has to do outside of the internet, I would say. Like the building, everything involving the building, the people that are in it physically every day. So cybersecurity, it's more like software, ransomware, and maybe like cyber attacks. It's a two different kind of industry. We don't have the same licenses also for that, the same insurance. It's completely different.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Another follow-up question that I do want to ask, and this kind of is what you just answered. Is this something that you've thought of considering when it comes to like not fully, I would say, embracing cybersecurity, but again, there are people who are possibly looking to protect certain digital databases online, because maybe for a business they may just operate just fully online. Like everyone just assumed that if you're a business then you have to just do physical and online, but you could be a business that just operates online. Maybe you don't have a physical location or a storefront or a brick and mortar. You do everything online, and that's been like your number one component. Have you guys at least thought about, or maybe it's just the right place, right time, such a situation when it comes to just taking security components when it comes to just how you guys would operate?
I would say we went into the route with cyber investigation where we have partners that kind of we can refer our clients if they need to retrieve certain information about an individual online, certain software that we can use. There's more that side of it, cyber investigation. But cybersecurity, I think the only way we have it is more for tech app or mobile app, we need a lot of cybersecurity to make it safe, so that the information we collect from our clients stays safe and don't get leaked.
Yeah. Okay. That definitely makes sense. Okay. So I want to go into the next part of our conversation. That is the role play exercise. This is my favorite part of the show. So for those who don't know, so Cillian, let's just pretend I'm not me. You're not talking to Sean Williams. You're talking to someone completely different. As a matter of fact, you could give me a name. Like I could be anyone. Like who would you want me to be for this exercise?
Paul.
Paul? All right, I'm Paul. So let's say Paul is coming up to you, and let's say we booked ourselves a consultation call, and I want to know a little bit more about Celeste security. The stuff that you guys are doing. Perhaps I'm someone who's like hosting an event, and I need proper like security measures established. So I just want to kind of treat it as a like a one-on-one call so that people get to see just how you are on a day-to-day basis when it comes to dealing with other B2B businesses and other clients. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So we're gonna get into acting mode now. Don't worry, it's gonna be very chill, very laid back. It's don't even stress. All
Perfect.
right. Perfect. Perfect. So, hey, Cillian, my name is Paul. So, I'm a business owner. I have a company I've been doing for the last 15 years now. And a lot of the stuff that we do is very confidential. We try our best not to get any information out to the public unless we want to, unless we deem it to. And I'm having this event. There's going to be investors, industry leaders, huge corporations coming out for this from like the states all across like in Europe as well. And I want to establish a little like tech lounge, a little tech lounge where like certain information is going to be shared, but of course I want to make sure everything is confidential. Now we do have a good system, but I feel like we could do a little bit better. So I heard about the work that you guys are doing at Celeste. So maybe you could again tell me a little bit more what you guys do, what you guys offer in terms of services, and maybe there could be some partnership between the both of us.
Yes, for sure, I can help you with that. I think the first question would be to know how many people are you expecting, so that I can say a suggestion for the amount of security guard needed. And then the second question would be, is it an event open to the general public or only like close partners that you know already?
So right now we do have a large venue that we booked out. It's supposed to fit about 500 people, but what we're looking to do is to open about 100 spots to the general public. Mostly everything else, like we've already sent out like invites to specific partners that we're working with and other industry leaders, businesses, investors. But we do want to open up about 100 spots to the public because we are about supporting the future and the community of like tech, science, engineering, everything like that. So again, we're roughly expecting about 500 people at our events.
Okay, good. So I think with that amount of numbers, it would be at least I would say two security guards per every 50 people, especially if there's an intervention to be made. We need the two security guards at the same time. So I think for 500 people, I would say like maybe somewhere around 8 to 10 security guard to guard the place, and to have the VIP section as well for your corporate partner and high value individual that are coming.
Okay, perfect. So, in terms of how does that look? Basically, are they coming in and like would they have to report to us or did they report to you? Exactly. How does like the implementation of everything work?
Yeah, so with a team that large, we would have a supervisor there. And also, especially since you have the general public, I would suggest that you will use some of our tools like metal detector. So a security guard would be at the front and scanning everyone that's coming in from the general public. That would help a lot. And yeah.
Okay, perfect. This sounds really good. We definitely want to move forward with this. I think this is a great opportunity for us to work together and make sure that everything runs smoothly. Now, in terms of, know, a fee, like do you have like flat fee or anything already established or do you basically go off of like what our budget is? Because we do have a budget that's roughly around like 25K. So, I mean, I don't know if that's based on like a close feed to that.
Yeah, I think your budget would definitely fit into our flat fee. What we charge for event that size would be $75 per agent per hour. So it depends on as well how long do you need them. The minimum is 4 hour at a time per event.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we can definitely move forward with this. If you could send over an invoice, that would be great. And I really appreciate your time, Cillian. And I'm looking forward to the event. And hopefully, you could come out too. If you need a plus one, I can give you one, and you can invite anyone you like.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
All right. Yeah, see, very, very chill, very relaxed consultation call. So, I mean, it is what it is. But again, for those who are just coming in again, this is the safe room here on Love Bay Radio. We're here with Cillian, the founder and CEO of Celeste Security. We've had a phenomenal conversation on private security, private investigation, security management. We've had the entire ordained, so it has been a fantastic conversation. But before we tap out for tonight, I do have a little fun activity to do. I can't even speak because I'm super excited to get to this part. Now, Cillian, you mentioned before that you like to listen to music. So, like, just to ask you, like, what would you say is like your favorite genre of music?
Oh, well, I think it depends what mood I'm in, and also like I don't know, it depends with the season. I would say I do like a little bit of country music right now. I used to be more into like hard rock. For I had a phase for it in the beginning of the year, but now I love a good old country.
Wow. I honestly I was not expecting that answer at all. So I love the originality and just how like different you are. Cause like usually like black people be like, yo, we don't listen to rock. Like we don't listen to rock and everything like that, or even country. Maybe there's some like country artists like some black people turn on, but in general, I love that. So for this activity, you're gonna have to guess the artist that I'm thinking of, but you can only ask 20 questions.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can only ask 20 questions and they have to be structured like yes or no questions, okay? So
Okay.
that's basically the whole objective of the game. You have as many guesses as possible, but like again, when you get up to question number 20, if you don't get an answer from there, then you lose. But I'm rooting for you, okay? I'm thinking of someone that's like very simple, like very notable name, okay? And I'll try my best to make sure that I'm not screwing you over because I can't give you like a full on yes or no. If there's something that you ask me that I'm gonna have to search up and look up, and my head is down. It's because I'm fact checking, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so go ahead. You have 20 questions. Just again, yes or no. I'm thinking of an artist. Go ahead.
So is it an artist from the genre of music that I just mentioned?
No, it's not.
Okay. Is it an artist from the Caribbean?
Ah, this I would say like their backgrounds from the Caribbean.
Okay. Was it an artist that was more popular, I would say, around the 2000 or after the 2000s?
Well, that I can't really answer that because that's not really like a yes or no question. If you want to say like, was this artist like popular in the 2000s, then I could answer that question.
Yeah. Was it popular in the 2000s?
Yes.
Was it an artist that was played in the club?
Yeah.
Um, is it an artist that was played at birthday parties for kids?
Sure. I'll say yeah. I mean, I think this artist has some songs that you could hear at a birthday party or for a kid. So I'll say yeah.
Is this artist more popular to or the older crowd? I would say 40 years old and plus.
I'll say yeah. There are definitely like 40-year older people that are listening to this artist.
I
So
don't know
just
why.
so actually right now you've asked 6 questions. You've asked 6 questions. So
Okay.
you can throw out guesses. You don't have to wait till you get to question number 20. You could throw out guesses.
Yeah, I feel like in my head, is this artist Prince?
It's not Prince. It's not Prince.
Is it similar to him?
Is that a question you're asking, or are you just
Yeah,
asking for
yeah.
clarity?
No, I'm asking yes or no. Is it similar to Prince?
I would say no. No.
Okay. So it's not Michael Jackson.
No.
Um, is it Sean Paul?
It's not Sean Paul.
Is this artist popular towards white people?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Is this artist a rapper or more? Is this artist a rapper?
No. I was waiting for you to ask a question like that. I'm like, you're kind of like you're getting deep into it. I'm like, I was waiting for you to ask like, is this person a rapper? Is this person? Because like there's a couple easy questions you could ask me to probably get to the answer like faster.
Is this artist known to play like an instrument?
From what I know, I don't think so. So I'll say no. So that's your 10 questions. So you're halfway there. You're already halfway there.
Okay. It's very vague. Okay. Is this a woman or a man? Is this artist a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a artist a black woman?
Yes.
Is it Beyonce?
It's not Beyonce. Oh man. I
Is
don't want to say anything, but I mean,
is it an artist close to Beyonce?
yes.
Is it Kelly Rowland?
Oh, it's not. Oh my gosh. Celia, you're right there. You are
Is it
right there.
is it Michelle Williams?
No, it's not Michelle Williams.
Is this an artist or a group?
It's an art. Okay, it's an artist. Okay, but again, that's not a yes or no. Okay, you're at 14 questions. You got 6 questions left.
Wow. Okay.
You're so close.
Is this artist Rihanna?
It is Rihanna. Yes.
Ah!
When you said like Beyonce, when you said it was a similar, I'm like, okay, like she has to get it here because like there's the correlation. Like everyone's like, oh, is it Beyonce or Rihanna? Like who's your favorite? So yeah. Okay, you did it. You got that answer. Perfect. That's everything I have for tonight. So, Cillian, thank you so much for coming on the Safe Room. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom. Tell the lovely people where they can find you on social media.
Yes, they can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at Celesticity. They also can find us on our website, celesticity.com.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you to everyone listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. You want to find us, we're at Instagram at the Safe Room Official. You want to check out all of our episodes, head to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, head to our playlist. You'll see the Safe Room there. You can check out every single episode we've done. But until then, tune in next week to your favorite show on Love Bay Radio. Until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, everyone.